this thing on? Because it's getting ready to be on.
Hello and welcome to Bell Ringer. My name is Greg. Your guest name today is Lucas Praticci from La Fermiere. They are a yogurt and dessert company that recently chose Genesee County and Western New York for their extended U.S. operations. I talked to Lucas about the decision-making process of expanding from France to the U.S. broadly and then narrowing in on Western New York and the Buffalo Niagara region. We talk about our strengths in dairy processing and our workforce and a ton more. Great episode. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me. It's a good pleasure.
So tell our listeners a little bit about La Fermiere and the company, the organization, and then we'll dive more into the project here in Western New York.
Yes, so La Fermiere is a family-owned company. We have been making yogurt and dessert in France since 1952, and we decided to launch our yogurt here in the US 5 years ago. We are now selling nationwide, East Coast, West Coast, and we are working with all major retailers, Whole Foods, Fresh Market, and locally for people around Rochester and Buffalo at Wegmans, of course.
Of course, yeah. We tried some around the office the other day. It's fantastic. So great product, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned you're all over the US, but you're a French company. So, why were you looking to expand? I know you had a small presence here in the United States, but why were you looking initially to expand to have a production facility here in the US?
Yeah, so we decided to come in the US like 5 years ago, working with different co-packers in New York State, but not exactly a classic co-packer agreement because we have our own equipment, we have our own team, and we manage our production. But we decided to launch in the US only with the yogurt line, and actually in France we have more than 70 different recipes. And now the goal is to bring them all here in the US. So for that, we need to build our own big facility. So it will be our very first big industrial project in the US. And the goal is to launch not only yogurt, but of course, dessert in this new facility. And that's the main purpose of this facility is to bring the new dessert line here in the US.
So throughout the process of looking at this new facility, take us into some of the decision making. Obviously, you have team members and decision makers back in France. So, and as I understand it, you're here in the US. So, tell us just a little bit about the process of looking at different sites and setting up the business, all that kind of stuff here.
Yeah, so good question. And actually, I've been driving. So I'm the managing director here, and I've been driving around with my CEO, so CEO and owner, who is based in France, but he is traveling a lot here in the US. And we went to California, we went to Pennsylvania, we went through almost the whole New York State, and we had a presence for 5 years in New York State, and we made a decision to stay in New York State because of the main requirement we had to build this plant. So the milk and cream local supply, a good workforce around, and of course, a kind of a logistics hub. So we decided to move in between Rochester and Buffalo because we feel it's the best area for us. And we had a great support, I have to say, from New York State and as well from local agencies like Greater Rochester Enterprise and also, of course, Buffalo Invest Niagara.
You decided to expand here. I think the announcement came maybe 2 weeks ago. I mean, you mentioned a lot of the reasons why you wanted to expand. Obviously, our dairy supply, the workforce, the space that you were ended up being able to find in Genesee County. What, since the announcement came, has the reception been like? I know there was the press release from the governor's office, which is super exciting. And then, I mentioned our organization, we all bought some yogurt and tried it in our office. So, what has the reception been like since you announced here?
Yeah, it was a good surprise for us, and it's very cool to see all the excitement and especially the locally. So we a lot of local companies reach out to us to start a partnership and a relationship with us. So we are very, very happy to receive all these good feedbacks and all to see all this excitement for us to join this region. And we definitely feel this area is really dynamic and very welcome for new business like us, and especially in the food industry, and especially in the dairy and yogurt industry with all the milk. Again, I focus on this, but all the milk and cream supply. We have been talking already with some milk cooperatives and all local farmers. We are going to set up a lot of partnership at the local level. So that was very important for us.
Tell our audience a little bit about the growth plans at this facility. What are the goals for how many people you'd like to hire and employ locally, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so it's a very big step for us in terms of development, and we plan in the next 5 years to hire up to 135 people. I mean, could be close to 150 to round up. And then we are going to invest 25 million in phase one, and we plan already. So the phase one will be around like a 50,000 square feet building, and we already plan to extend and to build another facility. I mean, an expansion of another 45 or 50,000 square feet in the next 3 or 4 years. So we have big ambition, and that's why we decided to move in this site of about 20 acres to have enough space to support our growth in the next 5 or 6 years, and maybe more.
And then you're starting with the traditional yogurt product and expanding from there, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So we start in the US with a yogurt line with around 10 different recipes, 10 different SKUs. And we will use this facility also, of course, to manufacture the yogurt we started with here in the US, but mainly we will focus on manufacturing the new dessert line we are going to bring here.
Now, I want to pivot just to you personally. Obviously, you've been to Western New York a few times now. What are your just general impressions, even just as a visitor to the region? I mean, any cool coffee shops you tried or interactions you've had with folks? Obviously, we're known as the city of good neighbors, so we love to hear any of that good stuff you have.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've been traveling a lot in the US for business, as you can imagine, and from the last 6 months, I spent a lot of time upstate in Western New York, in between Rochester and Buffalo. So yeah, it's a very good question, and I was very impressed by how this area is very dynamic, and again, yeah, good food scenes, a lot of good restaurants, a lot of coffee shop, which are very important for us. When you are working hard and traveling a lot, you need good coffee shop to rest and to work. And we made a lot of good contacts. Again, all the local partners we are going to work a lot of with, all the partners in Rochester and also a lot of in Buffalo. That's very, very important. And I was also very impressed by the support of the Buffalo Bills football team. And I am coming from a city in France where we are supporter of a soccer team. So I was very impressed how the support is in the Buffalo area for your football team.
That's great. We're going to have to get you to the local soccer bar or something like that.
Yeah, I love, in France, we watch soccer, of course, but since the last few years I've been in the US, I started to watch the football, and again, I will visiting a lot the Buffalo area. So now I have to be a Buffalo fan for sure.
That's great. Well,
a Bills fan.
Yeah, happily welcome you. Well, thank you very much for your time. Before I let you go, we always end on a couple hard-hitting, what we call blizzard round questions. So if you were a flavor, it's normally if you were a flavor of ice cream, but I'll ask you, if you were a flavor of yogurt, what would you be?
Lemon, fresh and refreshing.
Great answer. How about a book or TV show that you'd recommend?
TV show. Recently, I've been watching the last season of Ozark, and I really like it.
Another fantastic choice. How about, do you prefer a text or phone call?
Good question. Good question. Both, actually, both, because I text a lot, but it's great to speak with people, actually. So I would say both.
Our region is really well known as an outdoor destination. Do you prefer hiking or skiing?
Skiing. Yeah, for sure, skiing. I ski a lot of time in France, and I still not ski in the US. I didn't have the opportunity, but it's on my to-do list.
Great. We'll get you some good recommendations. I think I know the answer to this one, but how about Buffalo Bills or Buffalo Sabres? Which do you prefer?
Buffalo Bills now.
Yes. And then last question, most important, Buffalo, known for our chicken wings. Do you prefer, I guess, first, have you been able to have our wings?
Not yet. I have to, again, on my to-do list.
Okay, then we will leave the
in
drumstick.
In front of a game, I think it's the best option.
Yes. Perfect. All right. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate your decision, obviously, to expand here to Western New York and your time on the podcast.
Thank you so much. And again, I would like to thank all the agencies, and especially Buffalo, Niagara Invest. We have been talking with these agencies since the beginning, and again, thank you for all the local partners in Buffalo area, and we feel very welcome in this area. So we are very excited to come and to spend a lot of time there and to create jobs and bring our good, I would say, our delicious yogurt and desserts in the area.
Bellringer is a podcast by Invest Buffalo Niagara, the region's privately funded, nonprofit marketing and economic development organization. Please rate this podcast, follow our social media channels, and read our blog at buffaloniagara.org for the best of Buffalo Niagara. Come grow your business with us.